here we are. Okay. I'm not sure why this is showing funny. Bear with me here. I'm trying to fix my bottom part here. It is so weird. Okay. Anyhow, let's see who pops on. Maybe it won't let me. But let's see. Alright, so let's see who all pops on. And we'll get this started. I have a whole new setup here at our new apartment. But just really wanted to hop on here and do this tonight for everybody. So I set up sort of behind me, sort of, not the best, but set up sort of behind me because that's going to be my setup from this point forward. Still a work in progress. We're still working on it. But I went through that today, so since we're still unpacking stuff, do hope everybody can hear me though. Anyway, I'll give it just another moment here. See if anybody pops on. It's all just for fun and just informative and whatnot. If you have interacted this whole month in a way, then excuse me, if you've interacted this whole month with the posts that I have made, I will go back through and I will see, and then I know that people invited people, so we'll go back through and I'll look at that as well. But I wanted to do this live instead of posting, because it's kind of just nice to talk to everybody and kind of everybody see my face, I guess. But yeah, so we will see. Okay, so I am just going ahead and going to get started. Anywho, so for those who do not know me, I am Katrina. So I have I've been with Scentsy since 2020. So kind of, yeah, towards the end of 2020, because I actually started this business in August of 2020. So August 15th was actually just this past like week was actually my 3-year Scentiversary. That's what we call it. It's a Scentiversary because it just fits. That was my 3-year Scentiversary. And whenever I started with this business, here's how it kind of went down was first of all, if you've known me for a long time, you have known that I've been kind of wanting to do something where it was kind of sort of my own type of business. I'm kind of an entrepreneur-ish at heart. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. Um, but either way, this is like I didn't know really what to do, so I was like, you know what, we'll just try different things. And whenever I was struggling for money, like previously as like a teenager, new in college, stuff like that, I kind of started with another company. So I was with a company previously whenever I first sort of started college and got kind of out of high school and was like, okay, well, I'll just do something. And I was excited about it, but I wasn't that excited about it. So I was like, you know what? This really isn't for me. And like the reality was is I didn't really enjoy it. It was really hard to get into. A lot of people weren't interested in it, and a lot of people were like, "Oh, how I don't think that this works." The requirements for it were through the roof. Like I could not meet the requirements because you had to reach a certain point of like sales in order to even make a paycheck. Either you had to buy a certain amount before you could start making a paycheck off of other people's orders, or you had to sell that much in order to start making money off of orders. And that I never hit. So I was like, you know what? This is pointless. I'm putting all this money into it. I got this kit and it's just no, it's not for me. Then whenever I went to cancel, I think I just kind of let it just cancel. I let it get to a point where I was like, okay, like it's gonna drop me anyway. Then I let it go because I was like, you know what? This isn't for me. This type of thing isn't for me. I'm not gonna do it. Whatever. I'm just gonna focus on like doing things organically, whatever. So fast forward through however many years working other jobs and whatnot, getting full-time job with where I'm at now and working there and whatnot, which I met my husband there, so it's fine. Basically everything just started coming together. So met my husband there and we just kind of we're just working. And then he kind of switched around jobs. I stayed at the same one, but it wasn't necessarily what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. So it kind of got back on board of like, okay, what do I want to do? I know I want to work with horses and want to be involved with that, but to be involved with that, it can be a little tough. So what do I do? So I was like praying about it and everything. And then my aunt one day was like, there's this company that everybody here like has heard of. So I was like, there's this company that you should give a shot. Like you should try it. And I'm like, I don't know. And then I prayed about it and my husband, we talked about it and we were like, well, let's give it a shot. So sorry. Let's give it a shot. So from that point, I was like, all right, so I gave it a shot and I hit every marker on it that was necessary. But the last one, the one that I wanted to get, I did not get. And that, but that didn't stop me. However, after that, everything started to tank. And that was really during the point of like when the C word was starting. And when that was starting, everything just started to kind of tank because I started working from home. That was fine, but it just wasn't working anymore. And I was doing my best, but at the same time, I sat and I thought, okay, is this really something that I should stick with? Really, it got to the point where I was only sticking with it because of my upline. So I was like, all right, I don't want to like just ditch and whatever. And I felt really bad. But while I was with that company, I met somebody through a friend of mine who did fragrance. Okay, so she did Scentsy. And I'm like, I don't even have any idea what that is. I got no idea. I thought I maybe heard about it a little bit, but I was like, I got no idea. So I'm sitting there and just like I'm seeing her, and somehow we became friends. I don't remember how, but somehow we became friends on Facebook. And I was like, all right. So I started sort of learning more, and I was kind of thinking, like, okay, well, if you do that, like, if I do like a event with you, maybe she could do one with me with this company and whatever. But little did I realize, backtracking for a moment, I have migraines so bad whenever it comes to certain fragrances. My husband loves fresh fragrances, sometimes loves like florals and stuff as well. And I can't really do those. So I was like, okay, I can't do those. We have to have the bakery. We have to have like sweet smelling, like so fruities, citrus, bakery. That's it. That's all I could really do. So anytime that he would shove a candle in my face, it would be what he would like, and I'd have a migraine for like an hour or two. It was awful. So I was like, okay, I want fragrance in my home. I love smell goods. I love smell goods, but I want fragrance in my home, and I can't because it gives me a headache. And basically, guys, I could only use Tide Original whenever it came to laundry. I was like, everything gave me a headache. Everything was too strong. I couldn't do anything else. So the stuff that my husband loved and kind of grew up with, I could not do because it gave me a migraine. And if he would use those products, I'd have to air out my clothes. And it was just awful. So, and I felt bad because I'm like, I can't give him what he wants because I can't handle it. So we were using some products that after we got the cats, we sort of dwindled away from because it just started to affect me. It started to affect the cats. There had been a couple of times where, first of all, like cats and candles do not mix whatsoever. I had had candles in spots that I thought were away from the cats, but they figured out how to get near it. And I'm like, that's the last thing I need is for them to knock it over or themselves to catch fire. I had had moments where, like, you're just so overwhelmed and your brain just doesn't stop that I left the candle burning when I went to sleep and whenever I left the apartment. So I was like, I'm not using candles anymore because if I can't remember to blow them out, if we've got these two cats that like literally I can't ever light these, what's the point? So just started to need to venture into more. But anyway, that's leading up to the point of me meeting this person who is like now a really good friend of mine, and she's now my upline. But thing is when I met her, I wasn't thinking about any of that. I didn't realize what Scentsy was. So I was like, okay, whatever. I'll have a party with you. I will go ahead and do this like this. I can't remember what she called them then, but it was something clever. But I went ahead and I was like, you know what? I'll do this, and then we'll see what like if I like the products or not. I'd love to learn more about it. I fell in love. Like she shared what the products were. And I was like, oh my gosh, I want to try these things. Like, I want to give this a shot. There were so many cute things. There was like the Winnie the Pooh stuff. And I was like, oh my gosh, my sister's birthday is coming up. Because again, guys, this was in August. So, like, my sister's birthday is coming up. She loves Winnie the Pooh. I need to get her the Winnie the Pooh stuff. Then I was like, okay, I fell in love with this warmer that is, okay, where are we at? I can never remember where to lean. You can hardly see it. Okay. I fell in love with the warmer that's behind me. It is a, yeah, you can't see it. It is a cute, adorable, pretty warmer that suits me well because it's got a horse cut out on the front. Um, and it's so sad, guys, because I can't remember what it's called. Well, wait, no, it's called Unbridled. That's what it's called. It's Unbridled. That was the warmer. Has a cutout of a horse head in front of it. Nice farmhouse looking. I think I may have posted a photo, but I can always do it again. It's basically the warmer that started it all because I looked at it and I was like, oh my God, I need it. I need this warmer. So I was like, okay, I need the warmer. I need all the things. There were things coming, like Nightmare Before Christmas was coming, and my dad was possibly going to be deployed. I was like, okay, I need to get all of these things. Put me on the pre-order list. I need to go. I need to get it. Okay, I need it all. Basically, my whole wish list was over $200. So I'm like, my whole entire wish list is over $200. We needed to narrow it down. I wanted all the things. I wanted on the pre-order list because the Nightmare Before Christmas stuff that year was coming in September, and I was like, I need all these things. But she approached me and she said, look, she said, you want this entire wish list, but you've already expressed to me that you do not have the money right now to get it. So, you have already hit your requirement to make your shopping link qualify. So, do you want to be a consultant, get paid off of all the orders that are in your shopping link right now, your own orders that are in the shopping link that are not using rewards? You would be able to get the kit, which would have basically the one scent that I wanted was black raspberry vanilla. I really wanted to try it. And she's like, that comes in the kit. Plus, whatever else that you want on your wish list that you're not getting now, you could get later and get paid off of that and be able to get your own pre-order items and get paid off of that. So I sat there and I thought about it because, again, I was with this other company. I was with another company and I was like, okay, I don't know. Let me think about it. I don't want really another business. I don't want to be in a business with this. I was like, I want the things. So I talked to Patrick and I was like, look, all this is great. I'm falling in love. They've got everything. They've got laundry, they've got clean, they've got all the fragrance stuff. So, what do you think about me doing this to just get paid off of my own orders? Like, what are your thoughts? I could get paid off of my own own orders and go from there. Guys, he wasn't really 100% on board, but he looked at me and he said, look, if this is something that you want to do, go for it. So I did. I texted her that night. I said, hey, it's a go. I want to get paid off of these orders because I want all the things and I don't want the guilt. So the next day we chatted, everything, got it all figured out, got it all set, and the rest is kind of history, but I'm going to be honest with you guys. Sorry, I'm like trying to sit comfortably in this chair. Ooh. Everything's uncomfortable for me. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I had no intention to get this far as, I had no intention to make anything out of this, if that makes sense. I just wanted the kit. I just wanted to get paid off of my stuff. That's it. But when I got my kit, when I smelled the fragrances, which by the way, these pods that you see like right, I can never figure out where to point. That way. Oh my gosh, this is trippy. But anyway, the fragrances that I got, because every kit comes with these little fragrance testers that you see behind me that have every single fragrance that's in the catalog, okay? The new ones, the current, and basically the ones that forever stay. It's got it. It's got it in there. So there were the wax bars that I got. I did end up getting the Winnie the Pooh stuff for my little sister because, again, her birthday was coming in October and I was so excited about that. So I was like, okay, I got that for her because that was my focus. I took off things for myself to basically make sure I could get that. So there's that. But when I got my kit, I literally sniffed the things. I sniffed all the fragrances. I was like, I looked at Patrick and I said, oh my God, I don't have a headache. Even the fresh fragrances, even the floral fragrances that were in the testers that we both smelled, I didn't have a headache with majority of them. To this day, literally less than a handful give me a headache. Literally, hands down. That's not normal for me. Okay, that's not normal. So I was like, okay, I want to try all the things now. I want to try the laundry. I want to try the clean. And I basically got some stuff that was essentially those, like samples and whatever. So I was like, okay, I'll try these. And I didn't have any issues. So I'm like, all right, we have found it. We have hit the jackpot. We have found it. So my intention was to only purchase and buy for ourselves and get paid off of that. But I got excited, okay? I got way too excited about it. My upline Kylie basically, or we call sponsors is basically what it is, because in a way she's just sponsoring me. That's really it. It's my business. I run it. It's up to me. She just helps. Like as in she helps me, kind of coaches in a way. But either way, she's my sponsor and she encouraged me to go live with my kit, to basically unbox my kit live. So I did. I had never really gone live. Never mind. I lied. I've gone live before because I was with another company, so I did that and I went live. But I did. I went live and opened my kit and showed everybody it and got excited and everything like that. And our goal, because really, she was like, look, you can stay at this, or she said once you hit this amount, then you can reach this point in like commissions or whatever. And I'll get into that in a second. But yeah, it was just, I got excited. And because I got excited, I was just sharing with everybody. I was like, oh my God, I don't have a headache. I love this. This is cute. This is great. I just started sharing. And literally, people that I had no idea would even give a crap came out of the woodwork on my friends list and was like, oh my God, I love Scentsy. Oh my God, what is that? Oh my God, like all these things. So I'm like, oh, wow, I have more people interested in this than I ever had with the other two companies that I've been with in the past. So I left the other company, finally just like, you know what, it's not right. I can't focus on this. I need to move on. I need to like go forward. So I just was like, you know what? That's what I'm going to do. And I left. And I stuck with this. And I wanted to see where it went. And now, fast forward to now, and now I'm running it as a business because I want to reach a goal of being full time with Scentsy by the time that we decide to add to our little family. Because I want to be able to be home with my kid or kids, whatever God's willing to give. But I want to be home with them. I wanted something that I could be home. I'd work it as I could. I'd be home with them. I would not have to worry about my paycheck going to daycare. Because essentially, if you know, you know. I've heard from so many people, but if you know, you know. That was the thing, is that it doesn't make any sense for me to go to work also just to have my paycheck go to daycare and all this other stuff. So things just weren't making sense. And I was like, we already discussed it, and we both decided that this is where this is going to lead, and this is what we're going to plan, and this is what we're going to do, and this is what this business is going to be. It's going to help that. It's going to be the bridge to that. And whether you believe in this or not, honestly, I have had it really kind of confirmed that this is where I'm supposed to be. Part of that comes down to, I had been praying, Lord, how can I help people? How can I help people? First of all, the C word was going around. And I'm like, how can I help people? How can I get out there and be a light if I don't have much to do or much going on or anything? And this helps. Like, if you knew me before Scentsy and now you know me, you see a huge difference. My husband does, I do, my own family does. There's a big difference. But anywho, if anybody has any questions about my story and everything, you can always ask. I don't want to be talking about that for ever. I just want to basically point out that, hey, this is what I decided, and this is what I said this is going to be. That's what I'm making this into. You do not have to. That is the glorious thing about this, is you do not have to, which literally leads me into kind of a little bit of the next kind of topic. So I'm going to cross out. I do see people watching, so definitely shoot over a hello in the comments really quick. I just had jumped into my story because I was sitting here for a couple minutes and thought, you know what, I'm going to get started and see who jumps on. So definitely shout yourself out in the comments and let me know who is here. Hey, Penny. Hi, Mom. Okay. So I literally have my notes here and they're all over the place because I was trying to be quick and I'm not very good at organizing as I write. Yeah. But anyway, so let's discuss kind of, actually, before I do that, which one, do any of you have questions about anything, about the business at all? Anything before I jump into whatever else, because it might actually have to do with what I'm going to say anyway, so. And when you're in a spinny chair, you just can't sit still. Anywho. Okay. Well, then I'm going to dive into a little bit more because I don't see any comments currently asking questions. Okay. One of the big things that people have a tendency to like think of whenever it comes to things like Scentsy. First of all, the scary acronym of MLM. Everybody hates it. But the reality is there's a pyramid no matter where you're at. My job right now and every other job that I've ever worked for has had a pyramid. The difference, it's like this. CEO, employee. Like first level employee. That is the type of business that most people work for. When you're working for that type of business, again, that's a pyramid, okay? I don't know how to. Anyway, that's a pyramid. So, when you are working for someone like a CEO, and you're down here, you're the thumbs, they're like the fingers, whatever, up here. They're obviously getting paid more. They're obviously getting more, maybe more free time, whatever. Normally more free time because sometimes they're out golfing. But anywho, and you're down here working your butt off and just working away and getting that like minimum paycheck that they're able to give you, working your way up, getting that minimum raise, all that jazz, whatever, blah, blah, blah. We've all been there, or most of us have. That's how that works. That's how that works. And it takes a long time. It takes effort. And it takes sometimes a lot of schooling or whatnot to even have a chance to get to CEO position in that job, if you want to go there. But majority of people do not make it there. They're sitting down here until retirement. A good business like Scentsy or any others that are similar, a good one. Now, while I liked the products of the first one, the first business I worked with as a consultant, I'm going to tell you right now, I would never recommend it. Because the way that it ran was not beneficial, and I would never recommend that. And those are the ones that give people a bad taste because, like I explained previously, if you've got to sell this much in order to be able to start making money, that's a red flag to me. Okay? Because a true beneficial business should be like this. Okay? It should be like this. This is the top of the company, okay? This is the bottom. There's few people that are up here, sort of. It depends on who wants to work hard, but guess what? Guess what? It's like a funnel. So when you're starting, I'll do it this way because it's a little easier right now. When you're starting in your business, you are down here. You are starting at, for Scentsy, you're starting at Essential. That's an essential consultant. And yes, we spell it essential. But you're down here. But guess what? You can make it up. There is so much room up top, you can get there. And guess what? Even if your name stops there, even if your title stops there, your income does not have to. And that is the best part there. Your amount of effort that you put in here can get you to the top. And there is so much room there. It's not like one CEO and a bunch of employees. It's the opposite. It's not like you sitting down here and working your butt off and not making it anywhere, and you can never make it up to CEO, or maybe after like 50 years you could get up there. It's the opposite. There are many people who are part of even this business alone, even this company alone, that have made it up there. And that's amazing. There's a lot of them. There's always that potential to grow. There's always that potential to hit up there. Everybody is welcome up there. That's the best part about it. And that is what a good one looks like. Is it shouldn't be like this pyramid where, okay, yeah, da 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 da, maybe someday. Like, no, it's this pyramid where, yeah, there's so much room up here. It's like a funnel. Now, the reality is, when you're working this business, because I know it's a huge question and everybody's minds are like, oh my gosh, well, you have to have people underneath you. And what? Well, guess what? Okay, here's the deal. You got the choice. You can decide to stay where you're at and not ask people to come with you, and stay at your own level for however long you want to. Basically, in a way, you could be running it like a hobby, or a side situation, like a side hustle. That's perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. To be honest, originally it was going to be my hobby, and I wasn't going to take anybody with me, and I wasn't going to get involved with anything. I wasn't going to sell. I wasn't, nothing. You know, it was just for me and my husband. That was it. But it's up to you. Now, if you would want people to come with you and follow you and bless other people's lives, in the sense of, which is basically what I'm doing. I just want to bless other people's lives and say, hey, this has potential. You have potential. And this can get you there. This is not for me. This is for you. Because I can tell you what it's done in my life. And I can show you how to see what it can do in yours. But that's the reality. Is it's got potential. You've got potential. It's up to you how far you want to go and what you want to do. And if you want to bless other people's lives and say, hey, come with me, let's do this together. Because the reality is, if you come with me and I am your sponsor and I am your coach and support system in a way, and I keep encouraging you and everything, first of all, it's up to you. It's up to you how well your business is going to run. What you put into it is what you are going to get out of it. If you just sit back and you're like, oh, I'll let it work for me, it ain't going to work that way. No business works that way. None. You do have to get out there and you have to do the marketing a little bit and learn and get out of your comfort zone a little bit. I'm going to be honest with you. It's not going to fall in your lap. But if you would decide to come with me and I'm your sponsor, I'm not going to be able to run your business. Let me be honest. I'm not going to be able to run your business for you or make you successful. That takes you. But my point is, if you come with me and I'm your sponsor, I don't get paid unless I do my job. So if I am not doing my job, running my business, I don't get paid. And it doesn't matter how well you do. It doesn't matter if I'm here, you're here with me underneath just a little bit. I've always seen it as alongside me anyway. We're a team. But either way, it doesn't matter. If I'm not doing my job, I do not get the benefit. So it doesn't work like a CEO who can go golfing and still get paid off of his employees, his or her employees. It doesn't work like that. I have to do the work. I have to do the job. I have to make sure that I'm running my business in order to make sure I get my paycheck. If I don't get paid. So, I'm not getting paid off of anything if I don't do my job. So even if you are on the team with me and I'm your sponsor and you're the essential consultant, yeah, I'm sure you can put 2 and 2 together now because I've repeated it. But that's a misconception everybody thinks is, well, in order to be successful, you have to have people underneath you, which isn't completely wrong, but it takes you to be successful also. Otherwise, it ain't gonna work out. So that is one thing that I want to make mention of, is decide to bless other lives and bring them with you and grow that team, or decide to not. It is completely up to you. If you want to get up to the top, I will tell you bringing people with you is essential. But if you don't worry about that or want that, you don't have to. Speaking of whenever it comes to incomes, and I'm going to say insert income disclosure right here, because I'm going to tell you right now, results are not typical. That's what the government wants me to tell you. Results are not typical. You are only as successful as you want to be and as much as you put in. If you're going to run it like a hobby, it's going to pay you like a hobby. If you want to run it like a business, it's going to pay you like a business. But it does take time and it does take some work and all that. Which, to be honest with you, you have an entire team. You have an entire team of people who will help you reach those goals, in a sense, by giving you tools and resources to utilize in your business however you want to do that. But again, results are not typical. They're not necessarily, which I will post the income disclosure after this, but they're not typical. It takes you. But there is no ceiling when it comes to the income. None. It doesn't matter if you reach the top tier of this company. There is no ceiling. That is the best thing about this, is there's no ceiling at all. The other thing that I really enjoy about this is when you first start, okay? I basically, like I said, I was just getting paid on my own orders. You can get paid on your own orders too. So if you are already spending money on my website and you are purchasing things a couple times a month or once a month or even every other month, it's time to start thinking about getting paid on your own orders, because that is when you got to look back and say, okay, how much am I spending on this stuff and how much can I make back? To be honest with you, as soon as you become a consultant, you start getting paid off of your own orders at 20%. 20%. That's an automatic thing, okay? 20%. And you do not have a requirement to start getting paid with that 20%. So in order to be an active consultant for a year, you have to basically sell or purchase $200, basically 200 of personal retail volume 1 month out of a year. So if you would get started this month and you made 200 PRV, which is personal retail volume, this month, you are set for the entire year. You are active consultant for an entire year. Now, if you hit that 200 every month, you are active that month, which means that you can start, say that you would have a team. That means that you could start getting paid off of a percentage of that team. So there's that. I'm going to be honest with you with that. And that is actually, it's not a bad thing at all. That's how a business runs. But yeah, you can start getting paid automatically. But whether you choose to run it as a business, run it as a hobby, run it as a side hustle, that's up to you. You can start out like that, but that's completely up to you. But you do start getting paid off of your own orders and other people's orders automatically. And you also get all customer perks when you're a consultant. That's like one of the best things is you get all the customer perks. So except for the club points, so if you have a Scentsy club and you're getting points right now, that would stop, or you wouldn't get those. That's exclusive for customers, but you still get the 10% off of $30 in club, and you still get the half price item whenever you spend $60 in club. That's awesome. But you can also have your own shopping links open that you shop on and you share with other people, and you can still reap the rewards of the half price items and the free Scentsy on that. We utilize that a lot. But every other perks you continue to get. You just get an extra perk, which means you get paid off of it. Basically, in order to get kind of like paid on it and whatnot, wow, I worded that wrong. Not what I mean. Basically, when you are getting paid off of that, you start out at the 20% commission. So you get the 20% off of every order. And you have the potential for more. When you reach your first 1,000 personal retail volume, you actually hit what we call certified, which means that you get a 5% bump. So for the life of your Scentsy career, you get 25% off of every order you make and every order your friends, family, and etc. make. So you get that 25%. That is a 5% bump, and I'm telling you right now, it makes a world of difference. I reached certified within my first 2 months, I think. There are other perks that you can hit. You can always hit like there's sensational starts 1, 2, and 3. There's those that you can hit, and those have major perks with them. And you can hit those. That's usually within your first 70 days. I can always discuss that more whenever we, like, if we would talk more. But yeah, so you can start once you hit the 1,000, and that goes in general. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter when you hit it. Once you hit it, then you're good. So if you would do 200 in the first month and then like 300 in the next, and then you would do 200 again and then 300 again, then you hit the 1,000 lifetime and you're now certified, which means that now 25% commission off of your purchases. So that is nice. That is really nice. That is really cool. And it doesn't matter if you're the one ordering, if somebody else is ordering, and it doesn't matter when you hit it, as long as once you hit it, then you're good. There are 2 kits that you could get. That is the $99 kit, which is our basic kit that comes with a whole bunch. In this month only, it has the warmer of the month for next month. It's got the 5 bars for what's coming next month for the 5-bar harvest collection. It's got a bunch of different perks involved, and it's definitely totally worth it. It's got over $300 worth of product in it, which is insane. That's the 99 kit. And then we've got what we call an Earn-A kit, where you can get that for little to no cost. It's a little bit smaller, so it doesn't come with as much. And this month it'll come with the 5 harvest collection bars, like wax bars. So that is something to think about. And you can get that for little to no cost when you have a qualifying scent event, sniff sesh, whatever. And the shopping link hits that qualification. You can get that for little to no cost. So those are the 2 options for the kits to be able to get started. If you would decide that you want to stay a consultant, you can definitely continue going as long as you are hitting that 200 PRV once a year in a month. So you would have to do 1 month 200 PRV for like in a 12-month period to remain as an active consultant. If at some point you're like, I usually say give it at least 6 months. At least 6 months. Usually a year is best, but give it at least 6 months. And you can decide if you want to continue or leave. There is no cost whatsoever to cancel. None. There's nothing that basically happens. I mean, you don't have to have, there's no cancellation fees, nothing like that. Plus, the website after your first 3 months is $15 a month. That's not bad at all. If you make $50 in that month alone, you already essentially paid for it. So, yeah. But there's those. So there's the startup costs and the 15-month. And the only thing about the startup is you're only buying the kit, not your startup. Literally. Already went over that. The nice thing about it, though, is that extra paycheck a month. I'm going to tell you right now, we currently both work full-time. That extra paycheck every month is super helpful. That extra paycheck every month can go towards something that we need, can go towards debt, can go towards savings. It can go towards whatever you want it to go towards. If you are honestly living paycheck to paycheck, this is time to think about doing this, because that extra paycheck comes every 9th or 10th of the month, and it is a major blessing. Why am I making money off of you if you need it? You would also be surprised who is interested in these products and who has no idea about them, and you just have not opened your mouth yet to say anything to them about it. Because, yeah, it's amazing. And my goal is to get as many people to throw out candles and throw out those wallflowers and put Scentsy in their homes. Why? Because fire free, firefighter approved, we warm, we don't burn, non-toxic, we don't use any harsh chemicals, all the things. Literally. So, basically, when you start with this business, you are only sharing what you love. I'm sharing what I love. That's what I already do now. You are already doing that with the other things that you have in life. You find a new tea or a new coffee that you like, you're already sharing it with people, right? You find a new blanket that you love, or a new pillow that you love, or a new store that you love, you're sharing it with people, right? You are already sharing what you love. But are you getting paid to do that? Because I'm sharing what I love. I'm not a salesperson. I do not sell to people. I sit back and I say, oh my gosh, I love this. What do you think about trying it? Or what do you think about it? Or whatever. I'm sharing what I love. You can do that too. There is some work involved behind it if you want to build a business. If that is something that you want to do, then we would discuss that. If that is not something that you want to do and you just want to get paid off of your own purchases and kind of share with people like, hey, I love this, go for it. If they order, amazing. You decide. My goal would be to get you to certified so that way you can get that 25%. Like you could get that 5% increase on your already 20%, because my goal is to help you make money and to help you get to that point. After that point, if you do not want to go further than that, then I will step back. There is no pressure whatsoever. There were some misconceptions about this business that I think a lot of people kind of need answered here. So just a few things that I want to go over is I put that poll up the other day and there were a couple different things on there. If this was never something that you were interested in doing and you're already part of another business you absolutely adore, or it's not something that you're into and you're like, heck no, I don't want to do it, this ain't for you, that's 100% fine. There's no pressure whatever involved. This is informative and that's it. So a couple of the things that I put in the poll, I put that, like, basically asked everybody what was holding you back? Why were you not moving forward with this? Just out of curiosity. It was something to help me have something to kind of talk about and to focus on, just to see what I needed to kind of focus on. So one of the things was there's too many people that are consultants. Okay. While that may seem true, while that may be true, here is the reality. The reality of it is, sorry, I was really trying to hold that in, y'all. The reality of it is, yes, there are a bunch of consultants, but not every one of them is running it as a business. Too many consultants does not mean that there's no room for you. Like I explained earlier, everybody has room to get to the top. There's always space for more people in the top. Too many consultants shouldn't scare anyone because they're not all running it like a business. If you wanted to run it like a business, trust me, there's room to run it like a business. If you want to run it like a hobby, there's room to run it like a hobby. There is so much potential that it does not matter how many people are involved with it. Trust me, there are people every month that drop off as consultants because they just weren't putting any effort into it, or they didn't want to anymore, or whatever. So really, even though it may seem like there's a bunch of consultants, are they running it as if they're going for it and they're reaching out to people all the time? Because majority are not. Majority are doing it as a hobby. Majority are doing it as a side thing. They're not doing it as like a full-time, full-blown thing. So don't let that scare you. Another thing that leads into I don't want to run a business. That was an option I had on there, was I don't want to run a business. You don't have to. If smell goods are your passion, if you love fragrance and you want the items and you want the things and you're like, oh my God, I love that, but I don't have the money for it right now, or I love that and I want to get away from ... like whatever it may be, consider it, because you don't have to run it like a business. As I mentioned earlier, I would want to get you to certified to be able to get you that 5% increase and that 25% commission and be able to go forward with that. But after that point, I step back. Until you want me to help you get further, I step back. So that way you can run it as a hobby. You can run it the way that I originally intentionally was going to run it. So that is 100% an option. So you don't have to run a business. The other one that I did, or you don't have to run it like a business, I should say. There's a lot of people that don't. The other thing that I put on there was, I don't know if I know anyone who would want to order. Flashback to what I was talking about earlier, whenever I first became a consultant and I went live for my my kit. When I got it, I was not looking, like I said, I was not looking for running it like a business. I wasn't looking for any of that, but my sponsor, Kylie, said, hey, do this. Trust me, just do this. We want to get you to certified. Just do it. So I did. And I did reach certified. But for me, after I reached certified, I wanted more. And I still want more. But when I did all that, when I shared everything, you would be surprised how many people came out of the woodwork. I got comments galore and whatever, people saying, hey, what is that? Oh my God, I love Scentsy. Oh my God, I love fragrance. What is it? And tell me more, and things like that. Trust me, there are people that you know that love fragrance. And even if they may not realize it then, because I'm telling you, when I first started, yes, there were people that came out of the woodwork that were basically like, oh my God, I love it, I want that, whatever. But it was my consistency on sharing it that basically eventually found to be more people who wanted to know more. So there are people out there, and there are people who will want to order from you versus me because they connect with you in a different way. Every one of us is unique to the point where they'll connect with you in a way that they're not going to be able to connect with me, and that's important. So trust me, there are people out there, and you know them. You know a lot of them. Another one was, there's two other ones. One that was makes me nervous, and then I'm afraid to fail. Both those I feel like go hand in hand. Yes, nervous is okay. Nervous is fine. It's okay to be nervous. I'm nervous majority of the time. I'm nervous every time that I do whatever. But here's the reality is do it. When you do something whenever you're nervous, nervous doesn't necessarily mean what a lot of us think it means. It shouldn't stop us. It should keep us going. It should fuel us to keep going, because every time we're nervous, it means that we're just hitting unmarked territory that we need to step over, and we need to get to that point. It's like when riding a horse and you are coming to a puddle of water. A lot of horses are afraid of water. Like they're afraid of puddles. Because they can't see what's underneath it. I mean, if you are afraid, or if you're one of those people that's afraid of the depth of the ocean, that's essentially what a horse is thinking when they see a puddle. So when they come up to a puddle, they're nervous at first, and then they shy away from it. But all you got to do is kind of guide them right back, and then teach them it's okay. And guess what? The more you do that, the more they see that, then they're going to walk through the puddle. And then the next time they see a puddle, they might be a little nervous, but it's going to be easier to get them through the puddle. Every time. Every time they face one, it's going to be easier to get through that puddle. Then there's going to be another obstacle that makes them nervous that you're going to need to figure out and get them over. But it's never ending. Same with us. The I'm afraid to fail, all of us are afraid to fail. I don't know anybody who is not afraid to fail. But honestly, the I'm afraid to fail should not stop you either, because guess what? Failure comes with success. Success follows failure. With riding, just because I didn't get the trot the first time around, I didn't have the right position the first time around, I failed, but it taught me something. And then I tried again, and eventually I had success. That's the reality of failure. Failure is not the end unless you make it the end. Depends on how you look at it and what you want to do with it and what it does for you and what you take it and push it forward with. So that is up to you and what you do. But the reality is that if you go and you do this and you decide later that this is not for me, I don't want to do it, or nothing's happening, and I'm telling you right now, you're going to have to give it 6 months to a year to see if anything happens, and you're going to have to be consistent with it if you want to run it like a business. But if not, you don't have to worry so much. But anyway, what's the worst that can happen? Nothing. Because when you do decide to move forward with it and get that kit, guess what? You move forward, you decide to do it, give it 6 months to a year if you want to run it as a biz, and you see, oh, wow, this was great. This is exactly what I wanted. This is exactly what I needed. Da, da, da. And then move forward with it and see success. Awesome. But if you move forward with it and then you're like, 6 months to a year from now, this isn't what I wanted. This isn't what I thought. Blah blah blah. What's the worst that's gonna happen? That you have Scentsy galore. You have amazing product in your home. You know more about it now than you did then. And you filled your whole world with fragrance that's non-toxic and no harsh chemicals, safe around pets, kids, etc. I'm telling you now, my nephew eats wax bars, okay? He tries to eat wax bars, and it's fine. Like, I don't know why. I mean, I get it, I guess, because there's ones that I adore that I literally have almost eaten because they smell so good. But I'm telling you, they don't taste that good. But still, what's the worst that can happen? You decide to stop and you have all this amazing Scentsy. You tried. That's the point. You tried, and that's amazing. That's amazing. You are a whole new person because of that. So don't be afraid of any of those things. Ultimately, when it comes to this upcoming kit, like I was saying, you basically would get the new catalogs to hand out if you wanted. You would get the Harvest collection catalogs to hand out if you wanted. You would get this entire thing of fragrance testers. The big kit would come with this, which is actually an in-depth look of how we actually do our fragrances. It's the art of fragrance. It was a really enlightening training whenever we went to family reunion. Speaking of, say that is something that is like, say that you did want to join. There's a couple different things that are amazing about it. It's not just about the money. There's an entire community here that I had been praying for years. A community that I had no idea existed until I said yes and started doing this. A community that literally I've made so many friends. They don't live by me, but that's okay. I made so many friends to the point where whenever I went to family reunion, Scentsy family reunion in Charlotte this past July, I realized this is where I'm meant to be. This is what I'm meant to do. And I was excited. I was nervous at first, and then by the time that I left, I was like, okay, all of this is confirmed. These are my people. If you want community, and that's the only reason why you get started in this, that's fine. There's a community for everybody part of this. There is all age groups from 18 and up. And I'm going to say up because I do not know who the oldest is in this, but I'm going to tell you right now, there are people that are in here, in this business, as a consultant, whether they do it as a hobby, side hustle, or an actual business. There are people here that are around your age groups. It is a great community. Are there some negative Nancys? Yes, there is. But are there amazing positive people? Yes, and we trump all those negative Nancys, to be honest with you. But it's amazing. And even if you do it for that, or if you have some other goal, like there's been people on this, in this company with the business that they've never been able to travel. And because of Scentsy, they're now able to travel. People who wanted to quit their jobs, like me, to be home with their kids and not have to pay for daycare and be able to watch their kids grow up and not have to worry about finances that much. they exist in this. There are people who just wanted to get debt free, and this is why they're doing it. They're getting that extra paycheck and they're putting that towards debt. There are people who wanted the community, like I mentioned. Yes, there's people who may want the paycheck, and it's nice to have for extras, and not necessarily just debt and stuff, but for extras. They want that. They want their coffee every day, or they want to be able to go out and splurge a little bit and have like a lunch occasionally with a friend or something. That's what they use the money for. Or they use it for Christmas or whatever. Either way, there is something for everyone to be part of this. Next year, in July, it's the 15th through the 19th of July, Scentsy Family Reunion is going to be in Orlando, and we are going to be celebrating the 20th anniversary of Scentsy. Patrick and I are really trying to go, and our goal is to go for free, but I digress. But anyway, because that's a potential that you guys have. A potential is to be able to do that, to be able to do this, to earn trips and etc. Whatever you want to do. Again, results are not typical. It is what you want to put into it that you're going to get out of it. But either way, that's something to think about, because next year when we are in Orlando, our owners, the two who kind of really started this company, Heidi and Orville, are returning from their 3 years over in the UK because they were serving with their church over there. They're coming back after their 3 years next year. So we're celebrating that. We're celebrating the 20th anniversary. And because of that, the whole world is invited. The whole world of Scentsy, and that means everywhere. Everywhere is invited. And we're all going to Orlando, and the first night is the opening party, and that is going to be in Universal Studios and whatever, those parks, after hours. I would love to see a lot of you there with us. And I would love to see a lot of you chasing your dreams through this. That is something to consider in this. Again, this is not for me. I'm showing up here to tell you my story and to tell you what this is like, because I know there are people out there who have thought about this and who have sat and thought, yeah, but I don't know. That is why I showed up here tonight, to give the information, to say you can do it too. So, if it's ever been something you've thought about at least, I would like to chat with you more. I know a lot of you are probably going to watch the replay. Who knows? But I would love to chat with you more. And I appreciate your time. I am going to go back through. Since there were only 2 people on, yeah, both of you, actually, there were only 2 people on, so I'm going to do its own little thing. There were going to be giveaways during the live, but there's only 2 people. So I am just going to, do something with that. So you both will get a little bit of something, or a little something, I should say, for being on, and I truly do appreciate that. I did not see who else may have been on, so yeah, but since you two were on and commented, Penny and my mom, then I will, where the heck did my mouse go? I don't know where anything is. Okay, there we go. Since both of you were on, then I will make sure that you two get a little bit of something. Since I was going to do some giveaways during the live, but with only 2 people, there's no way I can really do much of that. But that's fine. So I will kind of just stop this recording or this live and let you guys ask questions whenever you would like to. And hopefully this was insightful. I know I chit chat a lot. There's a lot of information, but I wanted to kind of give enough and cover as much as I could throughout this live. So yeah, but thank you for your time. I hope you guys have a great evening and that you at least think about it. Or if you know anybody, if you literally know anybody who you think would benefit from this, who loves fragrance or anything like that, please send them my way, because that is my goal, is to share this opportunity with people and bless other people's lives with it. This is not for me at all. My point and my passion and my goal is to pay this forward, because somebody did it for me and now it's my turn to do it for as many people as I can. Because if it can do what it's done for me and everyone else around me, it can for other people, and that is my passion and my goal, is to get that word out and help other people get to that point also, whatever their goal may be. All right, Penny, thank you. All right, I'm gonna hop off and I will chat with y'all later. Keep an eye out, because this last chance first glance situation is going to keep going, and I'm going to start throwing sneak peeks about these guys towards the end of the month. So yeah, keep an eye out. Okay, thanks guys, bye.